student friends. In this video, I discuss analysis of tin alloy. Then, what is the aim of that experiment? To analyze the given sample of tin solder alloy for its tin content by gravimetric method and lead content by EDTA method. Then, which theory behind this experiment? Here you see that tin solder alloy mainly contain that is a tin and lead. This is a soft alloy and used for the soldering of that is the galvanized steels, copper, sealing of the joints of the lead pipes, cables, soldering of the terminals of the transistors in TV and radios and also electronic devices. Then the composition of the tin alloy is a vary and elements also vary in that alloy. But in that tin solder alloy, tin is always present. Okay, the various that is the alloys of that tin solder. First is the mainly which is used for soldering of the electronic devices, that is the tin 63 and lead 37. That is the composition is given in the percentage. 63% is a tin and here 63% is given that is the tin and 37% that is the lead. The melting point of that alloy is the 183 degrees Celsius and the tensile strength is the 492. Then here you see cast tin. Here that is the melting point is the 217 degrees Celsius and tensile strength is a 5.73. Means here in concern the tin 96.5 and silver is 3.5. Then here melting point is a 221 degrees Celsius and tensile strength is a 8.9. Here if you add that is the gold is the 80 and that is the tin is 20%, then melting point of that alloy is 280 degrees Celsius and tensile strength you see that becomes a 40. Means here melting point of that alloys will be depends upon the composition of that solder alloy and the strength is also depend here, and therefore the use of that solder alloys will be that is a different in the different fields. Then generally in for the soldering of the electronics wires or electrical that is the articles, yes, you always use 60% tin and 40% lead tin solder alloy, and therefore in your practicals always given the tin solder alloy having the composition nearly above the 60% tin and 40% lead. Then how you can estimate that is the tin and lead? Here you see that tin and lead alloy means that is the solder alloy is a dissolved in a suitable acidic medium, generally used that is the concentrated HNO3. Then tin will be that is the precipitate as a methactanic acid, that is H2SNO3, and lead is remains present in the solution. Then that lead is estimated by using that is the controlled pH that is a 6 that is the hexamine powder and halogen orange indicator by complex metric EDTA titration. what is the requirement for this experiment? First is the concentrated HNO3, then 0.02 molar EDTA solution, hexamine powder, 0.5% xylitol orange indicator, then 1% HNO3 solution, then Wattmann filter paper number 41 and the silicone crucible. Then opening of the alloy. That is a very important process in this experiment. In the opening of the alloy, the procedure is given in your slip. Then the amount of the tin solder alloy is given by the examiner at the time of your examination. Generally, that is given in the range of 0.3 to 0.5 gram. Okay, in a 250 ml beaker. Then add in that beaker half test tube of the distilled water and half test tube of the concentrated HNO3. That means 1:1 HNO3. 1:1 HNO3 means that is the 50% concentrated HNO3 and 50% water. Then as soon as you add the water and the concentrated HNO3 in that beaker containing that is the alloy, the vigorous reaction start, and some effervescence or gases will be evolved, and therefore here you see this is the beaker in which you take on that is the alloy and then add half test tube of water and half test tube of concentrated HNO3 and cover that beaker with watch glass. Then this beaker is kept in that is the water bath till metallic alloy is completely dissolved. At the same time, what happened is at one hand metallic alloy is dissolved at the same time is methastanic acid that is H2SnO3 will be precipitated. Then after the complete dissolution of that tin alloy, you remove the beaker from the water bath and allow to cool and on that is the asbestos sheet. Filter. After the cooling, filter that solution by using Wattmann number 41 filter paper. This is the Wattmann number 41 filter paper and this is the funnel. And this is the solution. Then this filtrate you collect in 100 ml standard volumetric flask. Then wash that precipitate is that here this precipitate on that is the filter, that H2SnO3 precipitate on the filter, and in that filtrate that is the lead ions are present. Then here wash that precipitate of the methastanic acid with that is the 1% HNO3. Wash that precipitate 2 to 3 times by using that is the minimum amount of the 1% HNO3, and then also washing are collected in a 100 ml standard volumetric flask. Then that washing and the filtrate, here you see washing and the filtrate present in that volumetric flask is a dilute with distilled water up to the mark, and that becomes a 100 ml stock solution. 100 ml stock solution. Okay, then that stock solution is utilized for the estimation of the lead. Then estimation of the lead by EDTA method. Pipette out 10 ml of that stock solution in a conical flask. Then add 2 to 3 drops of xylene orange indicator, or that add xylene orange indicator till the solution becomes in yellow in color. Then you add that is hexamine powder till the color changes from yellow to red. Yellow to red. Here you be remember that hexamine powder is a white color, but for your convenience I here shown the red color. But after the addition of the hexamine powder in that conical flask, that solution becomes in red in color. Okay, then it titrate against 0.02 molar EDTA. That 0.02 molar EDTA is filled in a burette, and it will titrate again, that is solution present in that conical flask. Then you see color change from red to yellow at the equivalence point or at the end point. Then you take the 2-3 reading till you will get that is the constant burette reading. Then here I have written xylene orange indicator with its pK value at a different that is the S solutions. Why? Here if you add that is the hexamine powder, then that becomes a red in color. If you see here, if you add that is xylene orange indicator in that solution containing lead, then that forms that is the yellow color complex. If you add that is the hexamine powder till the pH becomes that is a 6.4, not more than that. Below that pH, that complex becomes red in color, and above that is the pH is 6.7. Yes, that complex becomes a violet in color, and it is very difficult to that is the observe that is the color change from violet to the yellow, and therefore you must be add that is the hexamine powder till the pH becomes that is the less than 6.4. Yes, other than that, if the pH is greater than 6.7, then that color of the solution becomes that is a violet in color. Okay, and you be remember here the pK values are given of that xylene with respect to that is the pH. Then I here given that is the structures of the hexamine, then structure of the sodium salt of the xylene orange, then structure of the lead salt, lead with that is the xylene orange, that is a complex. Then I here taken that is sodium salt of the EDTA, and it is the complex of the lead with EDTA. Here you see what structure of the hexamine. If you add the hexamine in an acidic medium, hexamine react with that acid and that forms ammonia. That ammonia increase the pH of that solution. Okay, because earlier that due to the addition of the HNO3, that solution is acidic in nature, and therefore if you add the hexamine powder, the pH will be increases because that decompose to form the ammonia. Then here you see, if we add the xylene orange indicator in that lead solution, then here you see why I taken that is sodium salt of the xylene orange, because solubility is a more. Then if you add it in that solution containing lead, then that forms a yellow color complex. At that time, if you add the hexamine powder, then at the pH is a 6 or 6.4, that complex becomes a red in color. Why it is a red in color? Before it is a yellow in color, but here that is a red in color, because if you add that is the hexamine powder, then remaining channel orange is react with hexamine and that becomes a red in color. Then if you titrate it against that is the aqueous solution of the sodium salt of the EDTA particularly, or you take the EDTA, then here the lead from that lead general orange indicator is a react with that is the EDTA, and that forms a more stable complex, that is the lead EDTA, and the cyanide orange indicator will be released and that becomes color is a yellow. Here the color in that complex, here that is the in a pH that is 6 is a becomes that is a red, and if you add the EDTA at the equivalence point, all the lead ions are from that general orange complex is a react with EDTA, then that color becomes that is the yellow. You must be remember the structure of the general orange. You remember the structure of the hexamine powder. You remember the structure of the lead xylanol orange complex, and you remember that is the structure of the EDTA and its complex with that is the lead. Then it is observation S in the burette, that is the 0.02 molar EDTA, and the conical flask 10 ml stock solution plus hexamine powder add till the pH 6. Then as you add the general orange indicator, then the color change in this, it is the end point, that is the red to the yellow. Then what is the observation? Yes, if you take the constant burette reading, initially here you adjust the burette at a you adjust that reading is a 0. Is supposed to be here 0, and here also 0. At the reading you adjust the burette at the 0 level. Then final reading is supposed to be 5. Here that is the 5, and here also 5. The difference between that is a 5. Yes, is a 5, and this becomes a 5. Here that may that is the constant burette reading is a 5 cubic centimeter. Then which reactions are taking place during that estimation? First reaction is, here you see tin and lead present in the alloy in a metallic form. If you add the concentrated HNO3 in that alloy and heat it, then the tin is converted to that is the metacyanic acid, and lead goes to the as a lead nitrate in the here in that solution. Yes, in the solution. Then here you see that metacyanic acid is supposed to be you here heat, then that forms a tin oxide. You will get the tin, that is the precipitate present in the that is the filter paper. You dry it and then heat it, then you will get the tin oxide. Here lead nitrate present in the solution, aqueous solution, is react with that is the sodium salt of the EDTA, and that forms here lead EDTA complex, and that aqueous in that aqueous solution sodium nitrate will be present. You must remember that reaction. Then here you see in terms of the calculation part, yes, you estimate the amount of the lead present, in that complex. Here 10 ml of the stock solution requires, that is a burette reading, that is the 5 cubic centimeter of the 0.02 molar EDTA. Then 100 ml of that stock solution contains 5 into 10. 10 के लिए इतना है तो 5 के लिए 100 के लिए कितना, तो मल्टीप्लाई बाय 10. After that 1000 cubic centimeter 1 molar EDTA corresponds to that is 207.2 gram of the lead. यहाँ पे देखिए इतना मैंने सॉल्यूशन ले लिया एडीटी का 1 मोलर, तो इतना ग्राम और क्या जो लेड है वो क्या होता है कॉम्प्लेक्स फॉर्म कर देता है। तो यहाँ पे देखो ये 5 into 10 cubic centimeter of 0.02 molar density. How much amount of that lead is present? 207.2 into 0.02 into 5 into 10 divided by 1000 gram of lead is present. Gram of the lead is present in the given sample of that alloy. Then if you want to calculate the percentage of the lead present, then you take that is the amount here taken, suppose to be this amount of the lead present in that sample, suppose to be here x divided by amount of the that is the alloy sample is given. Yes, alloy sample is given, that is becomes here, that is the 0.5 gram is taken. Yes, you multiply it, then you will get the percentage of the lead. But generally at the time of your practical examination, yes, always you estimate the amount of lead present in the given sample, not that is the percentage. The next, estimation of the tin by gravimetric method. Here, dry the residue of tin during the opening of the alloy, then ignite the residue along with that is the filter paper in a previously baked silica crucible for 30 minutes and then cool. Bake the residue of the tin as SnO2, that is the here given is that is the considered as the X, and calculate the amount of the tin present in that alloy. And here you see weight of the residue is considered, that is the W1 gram. Weight of the crucible with the residue minus weight of the empty crucible, that becomes you will get that is the W1 gram is weight of the residue. यहाँ पे देखिए weight of the crucible with residue यहाँ पे आ जाएगा, और यहाँ पे weight of the empty crucible भी आपको मालूम है, तो ये सब्ट्रैक्शन करने के बाद आपको मिल जाएगा weight of the residue, that is the W1. देन आपको यहाँ पे स्टैंडर्ड रिलेशन मालूम है, 150.7 ग्राम ऑफ द SnO2 is contained, that is the 118.7 ग्राम ऑफ द Sn. तो W1 ग्राम में कितना रहेगा, तो यहाँ पे देखिए यस, तो therefore W1 ग्राम ऑफ द SnO2 corresponds to 118.7 into W1 divided by 150.7 ग्राम, और यहाँ पे जो कुछ आपको मिलेगा ग्राम ऑफ द Sn प्रेजेंट इन दैट alloy. देन आपको परसेंटेज कैलकुलेट करना. यस, therefore here 100 ग्राम ऑफ दैट alloy कंटेन, दैट इज द यस, यहाँ पे जो कुछ आएगा यहाँ पे लिख दीजिए. सपोर्टिव यहाँ पे A ग्राम आ जाएगा, तो A डिवाइड बाय अमाउंट ऑफ दैट alloy sample, that is the 0.5 gram into 100, तो आपको अमाउंट ऑफ द tin present in that alloy in the percentage मिल जाएगा. यहाँ पे अमाउंट इन ग्राम मिला है, यहाँ पे परसेंटेज मिल गया है. तो आपको लास्ट में क्या लिखने का है, रिजल्ट लिखने का है. तो रिजल्ट रहेगा अमाउंट ऑफ द tin present in the alloy sample in a milligram, यहाँ पे दिया है. परसेंट ऑफ द tin present in the alloy sample, that percent amount of the lead present in the alloy sample and percentage of the lead present in the alloy sample. यहाँ पे देखो, यहाँ पे मिलीग्राम में दिया है. यस, यहाँ पे जो दिया है ये मिलीग्राम में दिया है, तो आपको ये ध्यान पे रखने का है. यहाँ पे मिलीग्राम में दिया है, तो आपका रिजल्ट आया ग्राम में. तो हाउ टू कन्वर्ट टू द मिलीग्राम, ये ग्राम से मल्टीप्लाई करो 10⁻³ से, तो आपको मिलीग्राम में मिल जाएगा. यस, तो ये भी मिलीग्राम में लिखने का है और ये भी मिलीग्राम में. आपका जो एग्जाम का स्लिप्स है उसके ऊपर जो रिजल्ट दिया है वो मिलीग्राम में दिया है, ग्राम में नहीं दिया है. लेकिन आपका जो कैलकुलेशंस है, आपका कैलकुलेशंस है यहाँ पे जो कैलकुलेशंस है वो सब कैलकुलेशन जो आया है वो ग्राम पे आया है. ठीक है, यहाँ पे जो कैलकुलेशंस आया है वो ग्राम पे, यहाँ पे ये ग्राम पे, ये ग्राम पे. तो आपको जो रिजल्ट लिखने का है वो मिलीग्राम में है, तो क्या करने का आपको, एक ग्राम इज कन्वर्टेड टू द मिलीग्राम. तो आपको क्या करने का, ये ग्राम में जो कुछ आंसर है उसको 10⁻³ से मल्टीप्लाई करो, दैट विल गेट, दैट इज द मिलीग्राम. ठीक है. ग्राम से, ग्राम में जो कुछ आए, सपोर्टिव यहाँ पे x ग्राम है, तो यहाँ पे आपको मल्टीप्लाई किसको करने का, x इंटू 10⁻³ मिलीग्राम, ठीक है, तो आपको मिलीग्राम में मिल जाएगा। ओके, if you have any doubts in concern with this practical, you drop the message in the message box. If you like this video, share it with your friends and press the bell icon button. Thank you very much.